There were three stages in the formation of the Gospels. The first was the life of Jesus himself and what he said and did. The second stage was the period of proclamation of Jesus after the resurrection, when the presentation was adapted to the missionary needs of the preachers. They combined sayings, arranging them in an effective order for teaching purposes. The third was the actual writing of the Gospel accounts, writing influenced by the experience and needs of the particular communities for which the Gospels were written. The parable of the sower shows this sort of development. We have a parable of Jesus, an explanation of parables in general, and then an interpretation that is presented as his, but which actually comes out of the experience of the later church. Both the original intent of the parable and the interpretation bear important messages for us today. The sower in the parable broadcasts the seeds rather than planting them one by one. The ground was plowed, and then the seed was sown. Since the weeds in the field were plowed under rather than removed, weeds sprang up along with the crop. Since the seed was simply thrown around, it could land just about anywhere, including on the paths that had been packed down by generations of people walking them. What is Jesus talking about? This parable begins a section of Matthew's Gospel that deals with the growth of the reign of God. That reign always looks unpromising, but God works in ways that we cannot see to bring it to fruition. No matter where some of the seed may land and the odds against it, the growth of the reign of God is unstoppable. That's the seed. But what of the sower? The sower is anyone chosen to spread the good news of the reign of God. In other words, the sower is anyone who is a follower of Christ, you or me. But am I really a sower? I doubt it. I'm willing to speak of my faith and live my faith, but usually in certain limited circumstances. There are probably people with whom I work or among whom I live who have little or no idea that I am a disciple of Christ. Even if they know that I carry a Christian label, they may not know what my faith means to me. When the time is right, when they bring up the subject, when it won't matter what they think of me. Not for me, the sower throwing seeds on paths and weed patches, on stones or on fertile soil, anywhere and everywhere. In other words, I do not broadcast the seeds of faith, trusting the harvest to God. There's too little about my deeds and words that would give anyone else any idea or even remind myself what it means to be a Christian. It's here that the interpretation Matthew gave the parable becomes important for my life. God will bring the harvest to fruition, but sowers are needed. In other words, God needs me to be a person in whom the word has borne fruit. I am one who hears the word without understanding it. It's not that the word is difficult to comprehend. The problem is that I do not pay attention. Even paying attention to the word as read in the liturgy appears beyond me. I seldom go looking for the word in Scripture or in the events of my day. I am one who receives the word with joy, but I fail to persevere in it because I fail to reflect upon that word in prayer and meditation. That sort of faith is unready to follow Christ to the cross. I am one who hears the word, but I'm too busy. I have other priorities and responsibilities. Isn't it enough to say I am a Christian, go to church, and leave it at that? But I am at times also one who hears the word and allows it to sink roots in my heart. When I do that, my life bears fruit. Which kind of hearer will I be today? How will I receive the word today, right now? Am I willing to commit myself for this week, or at least today, to be the one who sows the word in word and deed? Will I live in such a way that could at least give others the suspicion that I might be a Christian?